What if the most dangerous secrets in human history were never hidden from us, but placed exactly where we would never survive long enough to find them? In places where the air is too thin to breathe, where the heat can melt the ground beneath your feet, and where even today, technology struggles to function. Mountains that pierce the sky, deserts that stretch beyond the horizon, these are not just empty landscapes. They are silent vaults. And buried within them are discoveries so strange, so precise, and so unexpected that they don't just challenge history, they make us question. In the remote volcanic deserts of Saudi Arabia, satellite imagery revealed something that should not exist. Massive geometric formations carved into the earth, stretching across the landscape for kilometers, known as desert gates. These structures are only visible from the sky. On the ground, they appear as scattered stones, but from above, they form patterns intentional, measured, and impossible to ignore. There are no nearby settlements, no clear purpose, and no written record explaining their origin. The question is not just who built them, but how they designed something meant to be seen from a perspective they could never reach. Thousands of kilometers away, hidden beneath the surface in China, lies one of the most baffling underground discoveries ever made, the Longyou Caves. These are not natural formations. Entire mountainsides have been hollowed out into enormous chambers, each carved with symmetrical precision. The walls bear uniform chisel marks, as if the work was carefully planned and executed with consistency. Yet there is no historical documentation, no tools left behind, and no explanation of why such massive effort was invested underground. Removing that volume of rock would have required organization, manpower, and time, on a scale that history simply does not account for. In the scorching deserts of Egypt, scattered across the Air Rumail, are fragments of a material that looks almost unnatural: Libyan desert glass. Smooth, translucent, and formed under extreme heat, this glass is believed to have originated from a catastrophic event, possibly a meteor impact. But no confirmed crater exists that fully explains its distribution. Some pieces were even used in ancient artifacts, suggesting that early civilizations encountered this material and valued it. But the true mystery remains. What kind of event could generate temperatures high enough to melt desert sand across such a vast region? High in the mountains of Peru lies a structure that appears both simple and deeply unsettling. Known as the Gate of the Gods, it is a massive stone carving resembling a doorway, yet it leads nowhere. There are no chambers behind it, no visible function. Its surface is smooth, deliberate, and unmistakably artificial. Local legends claim it was once a portal used by ancient priests. While such stories are often dismissed, the precision of the carving and its isolated location suggest that it was built for a purpose that has long been forgotten or deliberately concealed. Carved into the solid granite hills of India, the Barabar Caves present a level of craftsmanship that feels almost out of place in ancient history. Their interiors are polished to such a degree that the surfaces reflect light and amplify sound. The precision is so extreme that even modern tools would struggle to replicate it inside such hard rock. These caves were not simply carved, they were engineered, and yet there is little explanation for how such techniques were achieved, or why such effort was invested into spaces hidden deep within mountains. Across the arid landscape of Jordan, massive stone patterns known as desert wheels stretch across the ground. Like the gates of Saudi Arabia, they are only fully visible from above. Their shapes vary: circles, spokes, geometric designs, but their scale suggests a purpose far beyond decoration. Some researchers believe they may have had astronomical significance, while others see them as markers or signals. But without written records, their true function remains unknown, leaving behind only patterns carved into the silence of the desert. In the rugged highlands of Ethiopia, hidden cave structures carved into cliffs reveal another side of ancient adaptation. These were not random shelters. They were constructed in locations that are difficult to access even today, requiring careful planning and effort. Their positioning suggests intentional isolation, perhaps for spiritual or defensive reasons. But building in such extreme conditions would have required knowledge, coordination, and purpose, raising the question of what drove people to create structures in places where survival itself is uncertain. In the driest desert on Earth, the Atacama of Chile, a massive figure stretches across a hillside, the Atacama giant. Visible only from a distance, it depicts a human-like form with geometric features. Some researchers believe it functioned as an astronomical calendar, tracking celestial movements. Others suggest ritual or symbolic meaning. But like many of these discoveries, its true purpose remains unclear, leaving behind a silent figure watching over a landscape that has preserved it for centuries. Beneath the surface of Turkey, entire underground networks extend for kilometers, connecting chambers, tunnels, and hidden passageways. These were not temporary shelters. They were designed for long-term habitation, with ventilation systems, storage areas, and defensive features. Some passages are so complex that they suggest coordination across large groups of people. But what were they preparing for? And why was so much effort placed into building entire worlds beneath the ground? Deep within the dense jungles of Indonesia, a site known as Gunung Padang has begun to challenge long-held assumptions about the origins of civilization. At first glance, it appears to be a simple hill covered with stone terraces, but ground-penetrating scans suggest something far more complex, hidden beneath the surface-layered structures buried deep underground, possibly extending thousands of years further back than previously believed. If confirmed, it could mean that advanced construction techniques existed far earlier than recorded history suggests. Yet excavation is slow, and much of the structure remains hidden, leaving behind more questions than answers. Across all of these discoveries, one pattern becomes impossible to ignore. These are not isolated anomalies. They are signs of something consistent: planning, precision, and knowledge, appearing in places where survival is difficult and resources are limited. Mountains and deserts were not barriers. They were chosen locations. And the deeper we explore them, the more we uncover structures that seem to exist beyond the limits we expect from ancient civilizations. So the question is no longer whether these discoveries are real, but why they were placed in the most unreachable places on Earth. And if they were hidden this well, what else is still out there, waiting to be found?